Well, good morning. This morning our scripture's found in John chapter 3, verse 7, and it goes like this. Marvel not that I saith unto thee, ye must be born again. Back years ago in the far eastern piney woods of Texas, North Texas, just a stone's throw away from the Louisiana line. Anyhow, there's a young couple up there, and they was both raised out in those piney woods, and they just lived off of the land. And he was quite a fur trapper, and of course they growed a big garden and all of this. But once every 2 or 3 months they would head over to this little town close by, reasonably close by, and sell their furs and pick up, coffee, flour, and sugar, and then head back. Well, John, he was telling his wife, he said, I think we'd get along good in living in that town over there where we go to get the supplies, and I'm sure I can find some work around there someplace. And so they loaded up their belongings and headed to the big town, if you will. Probably population of 3,500 people, but they headed out there. And sure enough, John, he got him a job at the sawmill. And she was just staying at home taking care of a little old cabin that they had rented. So, anyhow, there at the sawmill, John, one of his fellow workers, invited him to church. And John accepted, and so he went home and told his wife that, we've been invited to a church. Have you ever been to a church? And, well, neither one of them had ever been to a church. For this particular Sunday, this old preacher, he plowed the gospel plow, and he plowed it deep. And both of them went forward for salvation. And this was all new to them. They didn't know anything about anything, and boy, they was Johnny on the spot. They was at every service, Sunday morning, Sunday evening, and Wednesday evening. Well, as time went along, she noticed that, hey, everybody's got this royal blue color shirt on Sunday night and Wednesday night. And so she went to the material store and bought some material and cut them out, and she made them both shirts. And so they were so proud of those shirts, and they went in, and because they was wanting to fit in with the rest of them, and that night she noticed they had something wrote on above the pocket on their shirts, and she, of course, neither one of them could read, and so she said, well, we're going to write something. I'll embroider it over our shirt pockets. And so she went into town, and she got her some gold embroidery thread, and she was walking around trying to figure out what in the world she going to embroider on there. And sure enough, she seen a little sign, and she thought, oh, that'd be okay. So she takes her paper and pencil and draws a picture of it. And she had no clue what it said. She just liked it. And so she got home and she embroidered it. Well, that Wednesday night, they went to church like normal, and they had the shirts on, and boy, they was just strutting around in there and just happy as it could be, And this lady walked up and says, oh my goodness, that is marvelous. That suits you. That is exactly, oh, you needed it. That is wonderful. And she starts showing everybody this lady's shirt and what she had embroidered over the pocket. And finally she said, I'm sorry, I can't read. I don't know what it says. What does it say? And she says, honey, it says under new management. And that's exactly what you guys are, is under new management since you gave your heart to the Lord. Now, my question is to you, are you under new management or are you still just of the world? Oh, I pray that if you're still without the Lord in your heart, to call on His name today. Because the day is the day of salvation, the Bible tells us. So, why don't you try being under new management also and let God take control of your life? I love you, but better yet, Jesus loves you. He died on the cross for us. And we'll see you soon. Bye-bye now.